Hi, I'm Caitlin, and this is Book Chats. And I got a new microphone for Christmas, so hopefully my sound is not genuinely terrible in this video. I'm sorry it's been so awful lately, but also it might be genuinely terrible because I'm not sure I set this all up right. So, fingers crossed. Anyway, it is not quite the end of December or the end of the year, but it is the last day I will be in my apartment in front of my bookshelf. I wanted to do my TBR Unwrapping for this month. So I'm really quick gonna run through all of the books that I read or did not finish in December. Spoiler, I did not finish most of these. I have a lot of books that need to be read before I can pre-order the book I want to pre-order in February, and so I didn't have time to read things that I wasn't going to enjoy. So I'm going to start with the only book that I actually finished, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I would have not finished this book if I didn't have to read it. This series, the third book in this series, is in kind of the final round of voting, and so I needed to actually start the series since these books are giant, and if the third book makes it in, I needed to have like a heads up and finish the first two. So I read this book, which I owned, and then I also happened to read the second book on audiobook this month as well. I am judging the historical category and the debut category, and you can see whether or not I read this for nothing. But yeah, so that one I actually finished. And then the rest of these books, several of them I gave a shot, but I ended up not finishing. Here, I'm gonna rip one off for The Diviners. One of the books I'm going to count is actually a book that I didn't read at all, but I returned to my friend. I'm not totally sure whether I will or will not read this book in the future, but the friend that I'd had it from, I've had it for almost 2 years, and I was like, I have to give this back to you. I can't keep holding on to this. And I checked, and my library does have a copy of it. That one I'm also going to count as having kind of gotten rid of and off my shelves. So now I'm going to go through the rest of the books that I made attempts to read or not. The Liberation of Gabriel King, I actually read a good half of at the beginning of the month when I was like, it's really short. If I just read 50 pages a day, I'll get through it. And I got like probably 2/3 of the way in, and I realized like I didn't like pretty much anything about it. So this one I DNF'd. Paul Zindel's The Pigman, I just realized I didn't really care, and I decided to get rid of it. And so I know that a lot of people read this when I was like in elementary school and loved it, but I don't care. This one I unwrapped and I was like, oh no, I can't believe I unwrapped this because there's another book in this series that I need to read first, and I don't even own that one and all this. So I didn't think I would read it this month, and I thought it would just kind of stay on my shelf. And then I was like, you know what, I'll just get rid of it because I can always read it from the library later. And then I actually downloaded the first book on ebook and I attempted to read it. And I only got the prologue and like 2 pages in, and I was like, nope, 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 not happening. Something I did not realize is that the author of this book was 16 when she wrote the first one. And I don't want to malign 16-year-olds in general, but specifically, it takes a very unique, special 16-year-old to write a book that, as an adult, I am interested in and find an interesting read. And so I DNF'd the first book, and then obviously I'm not going to read the second book. And I actually also, on the third book, which, guys, I clearly got sucked in by these beautiful covers, is what the truth is. And they were cheap because I got them from my library used. Don't get sucked in by beautiful covers at library sales if you know absolutely nothing about a book. But I am going to count both of these, even though this one I didn't unwrap. I actually have a pile of sequels in the corner that like their previous books are on this shelf, so that when I read the previous book, I don't have to like wait till I unwrap the next book. But I'm getting rid of both of these. So I'm going to actually count both of these as books that I got rid of. Okay, so that was 4 books that I didn't tear off rings for. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the very last one, I'm really disappointed that I ended up disliking this as much as I did, but I decided that it just wasn't going anywhere. I was listening to the audiobook and it just wasn't compelling and interesting to me, and so I decided to get rid of it. I think this is one that just personally didn't work for me, but that it clearly works for a lot of people because I got a ton of buzz at the beginning of this year, and I actually have a friend who I think it will work better for, and so I'm actually going to gift the copy I have to that friend, so hopefully she's not watching this right now. But that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. It's such a beautiful book, and this is a signed copy, but it just was not working for me personally. I thought it would be more like uprooted than it ended up being when I was reading it, and I just found it not to be like the story that I wanted to read right now. And I don't think it'll ever be the story I personally want to read, but that's like no slight on people who do read and enjoy it. It's just me and my personal preferences. I will write a review on Goodreads if you want to know some of the details about why I personally DNF'd it. So I am getting rid of that one, and that is the final book that I'm going to count for this month. I really wanted to get to the second Pink Ring, but I was 3 whole books away. And at this point in the month, I just don't have plans to read 3 more of the books off of my list, and I'm not really willing to get rid of them just without reading. I feel like I did that a lot this month already, but I did earn 1 of the books I needed to earn. So it just means that January will be a little more pressure, but I'm really proud of myself for getting this close because I don't have to read, I have to read 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I just have to read 8 books in January to get where I need to get. So I can do that, right? I can do that. Anyway, I get to choose one of these. So I'm going to go with the Otherly Faded one off of my shelf. That's because I'm pretty sure I know what this is, and I'm pretty sure it's something I want to read right now. And then again, I'm like just feeling a lot of what I've been unwrapping has been sci-fi or fantasy or nonfiction, and I'm just feeling the contemporary right now. So I'm going to find some skinny contemporaries on my shelf, and then I'll come back to you guys and show you what I found. Okay, so we're back. So I unwrapped 4 books a month to just keep my unwrapping going. And so I have grabbed 3 of my skinny contemporaries and 1 of my pink books that is really important for me to read. These were like my newest purchased, and I have to finish all of them before I can order another book. And I think this is also a contemporary. So I will start with this one because I'm pretty sure I know what it is. And it was another library purchase, and that is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. This one has gotten a ton of buzz in 2017, and I managed to find a new copy at my library sale for a really great price, and so I want to check it out and read it, and then probably pass it along to one of my friends who teaches. And now, so that's a contemporary, and then these are all contemporaries as well. So it's going to be the contemporary January thing. I have no idea what this is. What is it, guys? Oh, okay. This is Fall for Anything by Courtney Summers. I do not think that I have read any Courtney Summers books, and this is a really early book of hers, and she has a lot of general buzz, and so this has been on my TBR for a long time, so it's going to be time to decide whether I'm actually going to read it or kill it off. That's one of the things I'm kind of enjoying about this, is a lot of these books that are wrapped have been on my TBR for years, and now I'm finally forcing myself to be like, okay, do you really want to read it, or do you not want to read it? And then this one. This is Go Figure by Jo Edwards. This is a kind of early-ish fat rep book, so I don't know if it's good or bad, and if any of you happen to know about this book and like can warn me if it's not, please let me know. To be real, I'm like, if I'm really feeling the contemporary vibe, I might start some of these before January, but also it's like the 28th and I am driving out of town tomorrow and I won't be back until the 1st, and so haha. And then the 4th book that I am going to try to tackle in January, and then I will have to read, oh my goodness, good, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. I did not expect to find this, guys. You will see in a second. There's a high probability I will have to read this book for the YouTube book, for the YA Booktube Awards, and I knew that I had a copy, but I didn't know which one it was, so I literally checked a copy out of the library, and I'm so excited that this is something I'm unwrapping, guys, because it's like, it's like the opposite of last month where I really needed to unwrap the Diviners and I couldn't find it. Like this month, I knew I needed to unwrap this, but I didn't even want to try to find it. And then I just magically picked it. I'm just unbelievably excited about this. It is a debut that I wanted to get through and didn't. And it's A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. And there is a high probability, this was one of the like semi-finalists for the YA Booktube Awards. And so if I have to read it for that, then I also have to read it for this. And I'm just so excited that I unwrapped this, guys, because I have to read 8 books in January to unwrap everything I need so I can unwrap these and then read them right away in February and then order the book I need to order before March, which is when it comes out because I want to pre-order it because pre-order rewards, it's complicated. These 4, I'm pretty excited to at least give them all a try, and then if I don't like them, I can just DNF them because remember, December is the month I learned how to DNF the books on this. And then of the books that I've already unwrapped, I can go for 4 more. I'm actually in progress with one of them, and so hopefully I can finish that one, and then I just need another 3, and it feels so achievable right now. I was like really disappointed in myself when in December, even though I did such a good job, like choosing books and trying them and giving them a genuine shot and then being like, no, this isn't going to work out, and being honest with myself about like, I'm never going to read this book. I still felt discouraged that I had this huge pile of books, but I wasn't meeting the goal I needed to. And now I just feel like my goal is so much more achievable now. I can do this, guys. I typically read 8 to 12 books in a month, and last January I read an absurd number of books. I read like 18 books, but that's because I went on a romance binge. Anyway, and so I feel like 8 books from my shelf, these 4, and then 4 more that I've already unwrapped, it's so doable. It's so doable. I'm so excited. Unwrapping this book was just the most delightful thing I could have done. This is an art copy that I got at BEA, which I should say because I did not pay for this book. I do have a copy from the library because I thought that I wouldn't unwrap it, and I just feel so good about that. At some point, I'm going to have to decide what to do about the books I've acquired over the last couple months because, spoiler, I have somehow acquired books even though I'm not supposed to be buying them. It's a long story, but I will do that in another video. And I also have to decide what I'm going to do if I ever, like, end up the situation I thought I was going to have with this one where I was going to read a library copy and then later I would unwrap it. I mean, I assume then when I unwrap that I just get to count it as read already. I am just going to end out this year so well. I'm so excited. Guys, thank you for watching and being so encouraging as an audience, and I will see you guys in the new year. Talk to you later. Bye.